Hey guys, it's Michael, and real quick, up front, before you listen to the new episode with KATHRYN Burns, who is amazing, you are going to love her. Correction, I say multiple times in this episode that the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend finale is April 4th. It is not. It is actually Friday, April 5th. So, mark your calendars for Friday, April 5th. I'm an idiot. Enjoy the show.
It's Bigfoot Collectors Club with Bryce and Michael. I know a ghost story or two. Let's do this.
Don't step on Daddy's fresh and clean.
I was thinking it more as a hip hop song, but
He takes it all to doo-wop every time.
doo-wah, doo-wah.
It's a little doo-wop
So
and a
fresh
little
and so
country.
clean.
Right.
Welcome back to another episode of Bigfoot Collectors Club, the podcast where we talk to amazing guests about their personal paranormal histories and share stories of high strangeness. I'm your host, Michael McMillian. With me always is your other host,
Bryce Johnson.
and our super producer,
Riley Bray.
Our guest today is an actor and Emmy Award winning choreographer who has appeared on great shows like Another Period, Wet Hot American Summer, First Day of Camp, Children's Hospital, Key and Peele, and spent the past few years choreographing every dance number for Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Most recently, the Yes, It's Really Us Singing the Crazy Ex-Girlfriend live in concert special, which airs April 4th on the CW. My legs are destroyed because of her. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to introduce to you all KATHRYN Burns.
Yay!
Hi, KATHRYN.
Hi, y'all. Thanks
I
for
call you
having
Kat,
me.
but I guess you're KATHRYN.
No, I actually have a real issue with this. So if the internet folk want to weigh in, I feel like Kat Burns is like a cooler person than
It
I
is.
am.
Kat Burns.
And when people are like, hey, Kat, I'm like, hey, KATHRYN. Hi, I'm KATHRYN.
Right.
And then like all my like hashtag Kat Burns choreo. I'm like, who the fuck is that cool person?
Kat Burns is way cool.
Kat Burns is cool. You're cool.
I don't feel comfortable saying, hey, Kat Burns.
Call me Kat, Kitty Cat
People
Burns.
do call me Kitty Cat.
Really?
Meow, meow.
Yeah, and then also we've just established this thing. We just, instead of using actual words, we just say meow.
Meow.
Meow, meow. And that
Meow,
means,
meow.
hi, how are you? And they'll like meow, meow back. And then depending on the meows, you know how they're feeling.
Should we do the rest of the episode?
Yeah.
And
I don't
Meow,
think
meow,
so. Yeah.
That's like mostly spearheaded by Gabrielle Ruiz, who's
Yes.
been on this show. That's my favorite thing is when she's just like, sometimes she and Pete will just sing meow meow instead of lyrics to songs as well.
I mean, there was a song called A Fuck Ton of Cats.
A Fuck
and then
Ton
they,
of
they,
Cats.
they did dance like cats, and then there were puppet cats. And then, you know, a lot of us have cats. And so, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, meow.
Meow,
We
meow.
just spent I just spent the last 2 weeks. We spent more time together as a crew in the past 2 weeks than I've spent with most people in the past like 2 years.
Yeah,
I feel like
100%. It was like theater stay away camp.
Wow.
we
I don't know
just
why I said stay away, because those
Stay-
are opposite.
No, that's
no. I
yeah,
stayed
like
away at
that.
theater camp, Broadway at Baker.
Why don't you just call it away camp? Stay
Away.
away. I guess because you
Stay
stay,
away.
Stay away from me, camp.
It comes from a parent's perspective. Stay away from us. Go to camp.
You say away camp versus stay camp. Stay camp obviously means
Day
you're at
camp.
home.
Day camp. I don't think there is such a thing as stay camp.
Well, there should be.
Yeah.
Bigfoot stay camp.
Bigfoot stay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
love Bigfoot stay. Stay. We want to talk to you.
Aw.
But yeah, man, I'm tired.
Me too.
You killed us.
I tried to in a kind way. I mean, we had to put up, was it 21 songs or 15 songs? Whatever. 15 songs in basically 3 days.
Wow.
So we only had 2 hours to teach it, and then we ran it, and then there was like, we were in the theater for 2 days, and then there was like a live show. It was nuts.
Yeah, 2 live shows.
But, you know, everybody was ensemble. So versus like actor brain where you like have, and I was actually noticing once we got to the theater and there was lighting and stuff, I was like, oh, they're not used to like having to stand in for their own lighting.
Oh, yeah.
Like everybody was like talking and like moving around, and they were like, every now and then I was like to the director, I was like, Marty, just use the God mic and have them be still if you need them, because they're not used to this kind
They
of
have
flow.
actor brain.
They have actor brain.
We're spoiled.
Well, it's different because like ensemble dancers will like literally stand at attention in silence for 8 hours a day.
No, thank you. First of all, there's no way our cast could ever fucking do that.
But you guys did
We're
it.
the chattiest.
But y'all did it. Everybody was such ensemble brain, and every now and then I would say, sorry, kids, drill team feet. And that meant like they had to stand with their feet together so I could work on formations. And
Yeah.
luckily we had a short shorthand, like meow meow, to be like we're in this together. And
it was really, it was very tiring, but it was also very, very fun. That was really, really special. Couple weeks for sure.
It was a real special.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And I
Seriously.
hear a lot's getting cut down.
I know. There was like a 90-minute show. And at one point, like on Saturday, they're like, just go off the rails, and everybody did, and it was so funny. But what do you cut, We tried.
Yeah.
But obviously not the toothbrush dancing. No spoilers, but Michael does a really amazing. I don't know if y'all know that Michael's a really amazing dancer.
Oh, really?
He really is. His moves are very fluid, and like you just feel the joy when you watch him dance. I'm not kidding.
Feel the
Don't
joy.
laugh at me.
I love that.
I like Fosse. This
Michael, feel the joy, McMillian.
Yeah.
The waterfall. They're called waterfall hands.
Waterfall
when it's
hands.
like
T-Rex arms.
They're also
Baby
kind of
T-Rex.
T-Rex, yeah, but they're a little bit lower. But yeah, why are you laughing? That's real dance terms.
I apologize.
It's because you like it. It's because it's
I do.
joyful.
You're
Doing it right now. Look
Yeah,
at that
look at you.
waterfall.
You're
My wife calls
totally-
this gay
Perfect
hand.
form.
She's like, look, every now and then I do it a lot, but yeah.
Once again, Bryce bringing the political incorrectness into the show.
Come on.
Now you know that. Now she can just call it waterfall hands. And
Yeah,
make it all
waterfall.
BCC.
Be like,
hands.
babe, this is
Okay.
called. It's 2019. These are waterfall
These
hands.
are waterfall hands.
They've been waterfalls since the 70s.
Jeez, you're right. Okay, I'll let her know.
But I watched Appleman last night finally.
Oh,
And some of your follow along choreography actually made the cut.
I
Did
know,
you
I
notice
saw that.
in the beginning?
Yes. Can I do a thing where we like to mirror each other dancing? And I had this number on a recent episode where my character Tim was performing in a musical theater play, and I had a song called Apple Man. And Kat stood
I'm the
out.
Apple
And
Man.
it gets like a really dumb 1930s musical theater song. And Kat, I'm dressed like a hobo with a
hobo that
I almost called it a
delivers really
merkin. What is it called? A
merkin.
No. Merkin covers.
Birkin?
A merkin is a fake bush, like a fake pubic hair that covers your real
All right.
privates.
That's
in
that's
movies.
an actual thing.
It's a bindle. So I have like a bindle and an apple anyway.
What an appropriate
but she was out
term.
dancing in the audience and I was mirroring her. And one of them got, in there.
Well, because y'all aren't laughing like we are. The thing, marrying is very hard. So you have to do something as the person is doing it, as if you're watching them yourself in the mirror. So you have to move as quickly with them.
I'm just reminded of like my son's like concerts at his school. There's always the music teacher who's like
Exactly.
doing the dance and
Yes.
right in front of him. Yeah.
Exactly. That's
It's
it.
like that for
favorite.
adults.
Yep, exactly. Well, we could talk about dance all day, but this is a Bigfoot podcast.
Bigfoot can probably dance.
Oh, I hope so.
Hashtag Cat Burns. What, if any, is your personal paranormal history?
Oh gosh, y'all. Okay, so I had to like really think about it before coming here. I'm really scared of things.
That's
Like
good.
this question.
Oh, kind of everything. I think like there's the sixth sense or whatever, and I think that people that are open to it, then they get more paranormal activity. And I've closed myself off real hard. As a little kid. Do you remember 3 Men and a Little Lady?
Yes.
That
Yeah,
movie?
with the
And-
ghost in the movie.
Yeah.
That's 3 Men and a Baby.
Sorry.
Who's the ghost
Baby.
boy?
You're correct.
Right.
3 Men and a Baby.
Oh, God, I haven't thought about the ghost boy in a long time.
Yes. So I watched that, and I was like in, I don't know, middle school or younger or something. And
I'll just, for our listeners who haven't seen it, there's a scene with Ted Danson and for Olivia, is it Dukakis? Is Olivia Dukakis in
I
that
don't know.
film? Anyway, I can't remember who plays his mom, but they're like crossing the frame. They're crossing an apartment. In the background, you can see what looks like a boy standing in the window. And the rumors were at the time that it was the ghost of a boy who fell out of the building they were shooting in. Was probably a soundstage, first of all.
Right.
And then the rumor is it was a cutout of Ted Danson that was like set aside and got in the shot. But everyone thought there'd been a ghost boycott on film, 3 Men and a Baby.
So we had heard this rumor, and I watched it as a little kid or whatever, prepubescent, whatever, and I couldn't sleep for a week. And that's like not even a scary movie. You know what I mean?
Right.
And so like
Scary enough.
I mean, I literally could not sleep for a week. I was so scared.
What were you thinking was going to happen?
I don't know. I just like I just was. I thought ghosts would all of a sudden start coming to visit me. I don't know. I was like, I've let myself in to see ghosts, and now I see ghosts, and now they're just gonna appear. And then like with Freddy Krueger was big
Yep.
late 80s, 90s. And I remember I watched that and I couldn't shower for a week because of the shower scene with the like him come right. He was coming, his claws came through the shower or something.
Yep, in the bathtub too.
So to counter that, I'm not really into I guess this is paranormal, but I was raised Catholic, and you talk to saints a lot as part of your practice and stuff, and I believe in spirits and like angel guides and like signs and things that are kismet.
Gotcha.
Who was your favorite saint to ring up? When you were a kid?
I didn't really. I just did my rosaries. Mm-hmm. So you just, I just remember feeling guilty for everything.
What is a rosary supposed to do? I was raised Presbyterian. Like, what is the power of the rosary? I've never really gotten it.
So you just say your different prayers. You say the Our Father and the Hail Marys, and they're like, it's kind of repetitive. It's kind of like a mantra, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And every bead stands for a different prayer.
Mm. Oh, really?
Yeah. So it's actually kind of meditative and lovely. My grandmother used to do it every night before going to bed.
Oh,
and I have hers by my bed.
Why are they called rosaries? Do we know?
I don't know. I was a bad Catholic.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
You really do have that Catholic guilt.
You terrible Catholic, you.
So did you believe in hell and the devil and all that stuff? Was that big in your house?
I mean, yes and no. Like, we were kind of the kind of Catholics that didn't talk about it too much. Like, you went and you did your due diligence, and you were kind. And my mom was like more be kind rather than like be what your denomination tells you to do. I remember in high school, one kid was like, "You're Catholic. Do you believe in purgatory?" And I was like, "Please hold." And went to my dad. I was like, "Dad, what's purgatory?" He was like, "The place you go in between heaven and hell." And when you're trying to decide,
it's
and
like
I was
a waiting room.
Yeah, the waiting room. I'm like, do we believe in that? He's like, no. I was like, no, we don't.
No, we don't.
So it took a little bit later to like. And I'm also the youngest of 4, so it was always like, go here, do this, don't watch that. So it took a little bit of time for me to figure out what my beliefs and everything were.
Whoa!
And have they changed much from Catholicism, or are you still?
Yeah, I don't practice Catholicism anymore. I like go for hikes and find spirituality in trees.
Nice.
That's great.
That to me feels like the most centered and connected to God.
Even though that's pagan.
I know I'm a pagan. I know it is. I did research. I was like, I guess I'm pagan now. I don't know.
Catholics are kind of pagan, to be honest. Like you pray to different saints. Mm-hmm. You pray to Jesus. You pray to God. You pray to the Virgin Mary. Like that's pretty pagan. You've got multiple deities there that you're.
Right.
It's a lot of incense involved.
Yep. Beads. A lot of beads.
I love Apollo Santo.
Oh, me too. It's one of my faves.
Yeah, it's that's always fascinated me about how it's sort of like you can see why Catholicism took over Rome, which was obviously a pagan culture, because it's like, oh, if we just overlap all the gods on Olympus with like all the different saints.
Yeah, they amalgamated a lot of things. Egyptian mysticism.
Makes sense. It makes a lot of sense. Mm-hmm. So when you say spiritualism, do you believe in ghosts? Do you believe in an afterlife? What do you think?
I don't know. I believe in spirits. I believe in like angel guides. I think people have other entities, so to speak, around them. But I have a story from my mom.
Oh,
my
great.
mom actually is like more of the follower of spirit guides. Than I am.
Cool. Well, when we were talking about you coming on the show, I said if you're having trouble finding something, ask your mom.
Yeah.
Because the thing that we've learned is moms always have a ghost story. Like moms always. This is why we were talking about this. I think last year. It's like when you go home for Thanksgiving, that's when you can get all your good ghost stories.
Yeah,
so if you think
true.
you don't have one, talk to your mom.
I also
mom's
appreciate that
one.
it had to be at Thanksgiving and not just like a phone call.
Right. Yeah.
Mom, I have a really
Wait
important thing
till
to talk to you about.
November.
I wanted to wait to see you in person, but she's like, yes. Do you have a ghost story? Oh God, yes, I have many. Which one do you want?
So what'd your mom?
Well, I'll make the long story tolerable if possible. So long story short, my mom was an only child. Her father left before she was even born. I think when my grandmother was pregnant, and so her whole life, she longed for this big family, and she was, sent to boarding school while my mom was her grandmother was finishing my grandmother. She was sent to board. You all edit this, right? I'm just kidding. She was sent to board. No, it's fine. I don't care. I'm a choreographer. Words are great. She was sent to boarding school. Like my grandmother was off being a nurse and like getting her degree and everything. And so, anyways, she never really asked about her father to my grandmother because she was very strict. And then when my grandmother had dementia, my mom was like, well, let's start digging deep and seeing who my father is. So she's like in her 60s at this point. And so she started seeing spirit guides. Like there's this angel guide. And I've actually been to her a few times, and it's pretty trippy. They like tell you who your angel guides are, and everybody, I guess, communicates through Archangel Michael. And
It's a good one to talk to.
Yeah, and I guess the dead people always come up on your left side or something.
I've heard stuff. Yeah, I've heard this stuff. Now, this is all in Texas?
This is in Texas.
Where
so,
you grew up.
Yeah, I grew up in Texas. So as opposed to seeing ghosts, it's like you're talking to your spirits.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow.
You're talking to your angel guides.
I love that.
Not like dead
Angel
people are
guides.
following you.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It's
I was
not a
just-
ghost. It's an angel guy.
I was just reading, I have this book called The Afterlife Bible. I forget who the author is, but it talks about guardian angels and how to like summon them, I guess, for more or less. I was going to try that experiment last week. I'll have to get back to you on
I
that.
wish you would.
Yeah.
I think you can call Linda.
Yeah,
back.
I would love to get her name. That
I think
sounds interesting.
I think you can talk to her online.
Every
Yeah.
woman named Linda in Texas talks to angel guides.
Facts.
So my mom was trying to figure out, all she knew about her father was his first and last name. And anyways, so the angel guide summoned him, and he was there, and he was like, well, she's not going to like what she's going to hear. I wasn't a very nice man. And the angel guide said she was born in Mississippi, and
Your mom.
correct. And we were in Texas at the time. And he died in Georgia, which was new information. And so my mom then called the state of Georgia and got the death records of my...
No way.
Yeah. So the angel guide who spoke, she just was in for a session. And because of this information, she got his death certificate, and she was able to prove that she was his daughter. And come to find out, she was the middle of 9 kids.
Oh my gosh.
So her whole entire life, she was like yearning for this family. And come to find out, he wasn't a very nice man, like he said. And he was a total bigamist and had she thinks up to, she's since done all this research, has met her sisters, half brothers
He was
and
a
sisters.
con man with multiple families?
Yes.
Wow.
Like maybe 12 wives or something.
What?
Whoa.
I
All
know.
separate?
How is
Separate
that even
secret
possible?
families?
Well, she thinks at least 6.
No sleep.
Like of the 9 siblings that she knows of, that she's the middle of, those were from 6 different women.
Wow.
I know. Nuts, right? And
Were
it just...
any sister wives, or was it all...
Oh, no, I don't think so.
Okay, it was all secret families or different...
Well, she thinks so. He would always, because he was addicted to little yellow pills, which is amphetamines at the time, right? Like in the 60s, 70s.
Sure.
The little, they
Yeah,
call
I
it
think the
little,
yellows are uppers.
Yeah,
I'd have no experience. with those.
at the time it was like those little yellow pills. But
Riley, you're supposed to be our drug expert.
you're good for nothing.
What are you doing that fucking band all the time, man?
Play music.
Focused on the wrong shit. So he takes a little yellow pills.
Well, yeah. So I guess so. Anyways, my mom's talked sense to all of her half brothers and sisters, and he was quite abusive and an alcoholic, and like I said, a bigamist, and so that's exciting. So so the thing that she thought she wanted her whole life was the thing that made her a really well-adjusted human in the world. So like when in her, literally her whole entire life, she felt like she was missing out on the essential parts of being a kid and having a family,
Yeah.
and she then created her own family. Like I said, I'm the youngest of 4, and she has 8 grandkids, and my father's a really good stand-up man. And had she had her father in her life, which she so desperately yearned for her whole entire life until her 60s, she would have been a completely different person.
Wow.
She would have been untrusting. She wouldn't have been able to trust. Anyways, it just was a really interesting lesson that we don't really know what isn't given to us is for a reason. And I just really believe in that. I don't like the question what if, or what did you miss out on, or
Right.
what's
I like that.
what's not meant for me isn't meant for me. And sometimes it's the things that you don't have that you miss out on that you really wish you had that are actually making you better. And I personally believe that I have strong angel guides, and I have strong angels and spirits around me, that when things don't work out, it was for a bigger reason, and I trust their secret spidey power.
I love that. I think that's great.
Yeah,
I could use
think
some of that.
But again, you have to come to grips with the fact that those angel guides are really ghosts.
Oh no, I don't want to. But they're my friends.
Yeah.
They have wings, Michael, with feathers. They're angels.
Do they have wings, or are they rays of light that are projecting out?
Well,
of
I
them?
will say this angel guide. So I talked to my mom about it just recently, and she was like, well, so sometimes there are entities that can attach to you if you're sick or if you go through the airport.
Go. Whoa! Wait, what? Wait, two options. If you're sick or you go through the airport?
Yeah, I don't
Lot of
know.
demons at the airport.
I guess there's a lot of like entities trying to like that haven't gone into the light yet that are like hanging out of the airport.
Traveling.
The Denver airport?
they're on
Because we
standby.
know about that one.
Right.
No, what about the Denver airport?
Oh, there's an
y'all already talked about
underground
this.
base. Yeah, underground reptilian base at the Denver airport.
Like reptiles?
Yeah, shape-shifting
Sure,
draconian alien reptiles.
Yeah.
We'll talk
look it
about that
up.
later.
God.
Wait, so you're going? I love that those are the if you're sick or going through the airport.
Watch for demons.
Oh, Linda.
I'm flying out in a couple weeks. So I'm gonna be like, "Ugh."
I guess there's like little prayers and stuff you can say. I like that they're prayers and not spells. You know,
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it's like comparable to religion,
It
right?
is, yes.
It's like denomination. It's like you're sacrilegious if you're playing like pagan versus Catholic.
Right.
Like it's the same thing.
Same thing.
Exactly.
It's either angels or ghosts,
Yeah.
depending on.
Well, that's how all the airplanes fly. It's just angels carrying the
It just
plane.
takes
and
a lot of angel wings to
angel power
carry
to
that
get
heavy
that
metal
plane.
up through the ether.
Wait, so what are the prayers you can say at the airport to make the entities not
Well, I don't know.
attached to
Probably
you?
like, dear God, protect me from the scary people. Amen.
Okay.
No. There is like I think like I said, I've only been to Linda twice or once, mostly because my mom took me, and my mom's been kind of regularly because obviously the dad stuff that really opened up
but the
a
proof's
lot.
in the pudding.
Yeah, exactly. And then her mom has since passed, and so she's
Okay.
talked to her and has some. Anyways,
Did she get some revelations from her mother?
yeah, kind of. I mean, like she was a pretty stern woman and really hard on her. So in her passing, she was able to say that she was proud of her and some things that she hadn't really had said in real life.
Right. Oh, that's good.
Wild.
And also, like, she was a nurse. So
Thanks for waiting till you die to say you're proud of me.
Yeah, thanks, Mom. Oh no, I think she talked about never getting over the she never remarried or anything.
Right.
So she had a lot of she held on to a lot of anger and bitterness throughout her life.
Right.
And was mad that my mom didn't finish college and got married. Like that she got married at like 19.
Right.
Yeah, and my grandmother was like a really, like wanted to be a nurse and anesthesiast, and did I say that right? Anesthesiast?
Anesthesiologist.
Anesthesiologist, that's the one. I
Same
played a
thing.
nurse on
It's
TV
fine.
once. It's fine.
We fuck things up all the time here. Don't worry about it.
But so things like that, like saying she was mad at her for not going to college, which she
Right.
like knew of. But anyways, whatever. Family stuff is
There's
fun.
more important
Family
things in
stuff.
college.
Yeah, I'm pretty fascinated by that whole angel subject right now.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah, right.
so
'cause
the entity thing is like, I guess. So what happens at the end of the session, I guess, is that if there is an entity in you, which I guess the angels or the guides tell Linda, and that there's an entity they need to get rid of. So they'll if it's okay, she'll do a little prayer to guide the entity to the light. Like they're not sure that they want to go to the light or not. I'm saying that in a country accent.
Right.
So then she'll like lay you on the table and say a prayer over you, which I guess could be a spell, but whatever.
So to be clear, we're not talking demons. We're talking people who have passed.
Correct. But I guess my mom said that there is like more devil type
Malevolent entities.
right? Which luckily haven't attached themselves to her ever, but they can. And those ones are harder to get rid of.
Yeah.
This does sound like The Exorcist a little bit now that we talked about it.
Sometimes I'm worried that sometimes my old school imagination is like, I'm feeling run down. It's probably because I haven't slept well. But what if it's a demon?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well-
Like sometimes I think about
Right.
that stuff.
She said that to me last night. She was like, if I'm really tired or worn down or something, I think it's because there's an entity and I can't figure out why I'm so tired.
I also had this like really vivid dream a couple years ago that I can't shake. I don't know if I've talked about it on the show, where I went into my bathroom and I turned. I was like had my shirt off, and then I turned and looked in the mirror, and I could see this goblin-y creature that was attached to my back, like its hands were sunken into my shoulder blades, like up to his wrists. And he had like huge eyes, and it was like that thing of like, I got to get this monkey off my back, but it was like a goblinly like evil creature. And in the dream, I was like, oh, that's why I feel so shitty, because this thing is like attached to me, And I don't know. Sometimes I wonder if it's still there.
That's
it freaks me out.
Was that around Halloween Horror Nights?
No. This was just like one night. I just had this really vivid dream about it.
Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Like, I if I see a visual, like that's why we were supposed to go to Halloween Horror Nights together, like this the VIP thing with Donna Lynn.
Right.
And I was like, I'm
too.
so scared of everything. And if I go to like Halloween Horror Nights for weeks, I will see those visuals constantly.
Oh, wow.
And part of me feels like if I just think happy thoughts, then things will be more sunshine and rainbows. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. I think you're right about that.
I don't know.
It sounds like, at least two of the three of us sitting here deal with some anxiety. You deal with some anxiety, it sounds like, too.
There's four of us.
I deal with
Four of
anxiety
us.
too.
Yeah.
But like there's an extroverted anxiety. Like people like, you don't seem like you have anxiety at all. I'm like, well, you know when I get really chatty, that's because I'm anxious.
Right. Well, it's great for a podcast. So don't worry
We
about
try
it.
to keep our guests on edge.
Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing those stories.
They locked me out for like 20 minutes before I could get
part of
into
the
it
show.
about the anxiety.
We have a game we like to play
wild.
with our guests. Speaking of anxiety,
Oh no.
it's rapid fire.
Oh.
I'm going to go down a list of things, and you're going to say, it's called bullshit or believe it. You're going to say bullshit if you don't believe it, or believe it if you're into it. Okay?
Okay.
Here we go. On your mark, get set,
Ah.
ghosts,
Bullshit.
UFOs,
Bullshit.
Bigfoot.
I hate this game.
Go.
Because I just
It's okay.
didn't like ghosts.
It's fun.
What'd you say? Bigfoot?
Bigfoot.
Believe it.
Angels.
Believe it, duh.
Gnomes.
Bullshit.
Fairies.
Bullshit.
Unicorns.
Bullshit.
Loch Ness Monster.
Believe it.
Little gray aliens.
Bullshit.
Parallel universes.
Oh, bullshit. I'm so not. I don't know.
Shapeshifters.
Bullshit.
Mermaids.
You're doing great.
Bullshit.
Heaven.
Believe it.
Hell.
I go back on the heaven one if I don't believe in hell. So both bullshit. I don't know.
Dragons.
I hate this game.
Dragons. We're almost done. Dragons. This one's an easy one. Dragons.
Believe it.
Oh, okay. I'm so confused.
This is exactly why I'm sweating so much.
You've answered
This is
correctly
exactly
every
why
one of
my
them. You're
therapist-
doing great.
There's no wrong answer. Yeti. Screaming Yeti at you now.
I don't know what it is.
Okay, abominable snowman.
Oh, okay, bullshit.
Elves.
You believe it.
ESP. ESP.
Believe it. I'm sweating.
You're so confused.
So
We
much.
got like 5 left. ESP.
Yo, I'm drenched.
This game is destroying you.
That's intense.
We have to get through it. We have to. You're going to be better because of it.
Okay, keep going. I'll cover my eyes. I think it might not
Chupacabra.
Oh, that's the little sure, no. Bullshit.
Demons.
Believe it.
Atlantis.
Bullshit.
We're getting real close. Life on other planets.
Oh, believe it.
World
no,
peace.
I don't know.
World peace. World peace.
Oh my god.
World peace.
Am I the worst?
This is the
most-
best. This is the best round of this game has ever been played.
Believe it.
We win.
Peace in the multiverse.
What is?
Well done.
Wait, a round of applause.
Yeah, well done.
Oh my god! I don't.
How do you feel?
Oh.
We literally just started watching you melt.
This is exactly why when I tried to go to therapy, my therapist was like, I don't get you.
Yeah, I feel like you're having a crisis of identity.
Oh my God.
I don't get you.
I
That was
legitimately am. Y'all can't
That's
see it,
so
but I
funny.
believe. But Tom, I was sweating.
They can hear.
You're very sweaty. I'm so sorry. I should have stopped
Oh my
it,
God.
but I couldn't.
No.
It was too fun.
Y'all were just staring at me, laughing. I grumbled.
So you're not into UFOs or aliens
I don't
at
know
all.
what I said just then.
It's okay.
She blacked out a little
You're
bit.
welcome.
I don't know.
Do you want to talk about how you feel right now? We can talk about that instead.
So good.
Did y'all just purposefully start making
Yeah,
fun
it's
of
a
me?
cooker. It's a burner.
Here's the thing. By default of thinking about sunshine and rainbows, you really don't dive deep into the rest of it. So you don't really know what you're thinking about.
I think the problem is this game was trying to pound down the sunshine door. It's just like, keep the sunshine door open. Closed.
I mean, one of my best friends has a science podcast, Ologies. I don't know if y'all listen, but she talks about alternate universes, and it really freaks me out.
Oh, yeah.
Got it. Well...
I don't know. I'm sweating.
It's okay.
Everything, as I was saying, I felt like a walking contradiction.
It's okay.
And then I was like, I don't believe in ghosts, but I believe in angel guys.
That's fine. That's fine.
Who the fuck is this girl?
I think we get the avenue that you're coming from, and it works.
Oh my
it works.
God.
That's the point of the game.
And also, I don't know. I just don't like what's it called? It's not ultimatum. It's not ultimates, but if it's like
ultimatum, one or the other, binary.
Yeah, I just don't think I don't think we live in that.
Yes.
So like to say you don't believe in a thing doesn't mean that someone else might, and that it might not actually have things and truth behind it.
And that's why we're like, believe it.
Yeah.
Maybe I don't know.
Bullshit is so strong.
It is.
Oh my God.
I think I also don't say bullshit that often in my life.
Yeah.
I say other words.
Yeah.
But like saying that's bullshit is like,
it's too negative.
Yeah.
All right.
My mom always said, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all. I mean, she's not. That's actually true.
I love that.
Well, take a deep breath.
Oh, Michael.
And when we come back,
Lord.
brace yourself for this week's story of High Strangeness.
Oh, goody.
We'll be right back.
Yeah.
Wait, I really do need a second.
That was
Great.
awesome. That was so thoroughly enjoyable. I feel like I know you now.
What? Tell me what you know about me. I'd like to know.
I just love, like you said, don't spend a lot of time thinking about this stuff. You know what I mean? Whereas
I feel bad. I feel like I tortured you. But
It's fine. It's good.
I got a lot of joy out of it.
I did too. I really did too. I think I just meant to say I love you even more now.
We're even now
That was
we're even now for all that rehearsal I had to go through.
I probably did sweat as much in that 1 minute than you did in all
2
12
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks, yeah.
That was good.
All right, Bryce, it's time for High Strangeness. What did you bring in for the club this week?
It is. So I was thinking a lot about our last week's story of High Strangeness, in which a 16-year-old girl, Teresa Ann Beer, went into the Yosemite woods with a much older Russell Welch, only to have Russell return without Teresa telling the police that she was taken by a Bigfoot.
It was a true crime story.
A true crime. Kind of our first here on the BCC.
He killed her.
It was bad.
It was pretty dark.
It was. But, whatever your thoughts are about the case.
It was.
And I... But yeah, it was. It was a dark story. And
George Norrie?
No. And whatever you have about that case, and I'm sure you have plenty, not wanting to besmirch the good name of Bigfoot, I wanted to represent a possible other side to the half-human, half-ape creature known as Sasquatch, a more gentler and even heroic side. On January 24th of this year, headlines worldwide reported on the strange disappearance and recovery of a 3-year-old little boy named Casey Hathaway, who was found in the woods after having gone missing for 2 nights and 3 days in rural North Carolina. When rescuers found him relatively unscathed, Casey told his mom at the emergency room that he survived in the cold because his new friend, a bear, had watched over him. At a wooded residence in Ernule, North Carolina, 3-year-old Casey Hathaway was playing in the backyard of his great-grandmother's house with his sister and cousin when later the 2 girls came back inside without Casey. That's when things took a more serious turn. When asked where Casey was, the girls seemed unsure. 1 minute he was there, the next minute he was gone. That's when his family spent the next 45 minutes frantically looking for him before deciding to call 911. A search team of rescuers and law enforcement officials were assembled, including FBI, NCIS, U.S. Marine Corps, and hundreds of volunteers. Authorities employed helicopters, drones, and canine units, as well as divers also assessing nearby ponds. They spent 3 days combing the Craven County, North Carolina terrain. Their attention focused on 1,000 acres of the heavily wooded area around his great-grandma's house. The team was relentless in its efforts to find Casey, facing heavy rain, wind, and temperatures at night that hovered around freezing. So much so, in fact, that at one point the search was halted due to poor weather conditions. all the while bearing in mind young Casey was experiencing the same hardships. 3 days later, on Thursday, January 24th, a neighbor was walking her dog when she heard what she thought was some faint crying. So she called the cops, and rescue teams were able to zero in on the boy's location. They followed his call 40 to 50 yards into the woods through water to find the little boy tangled in vines and thorns, just a mere quarter-mile away from his grandmother's house. Immediately transported to a local hospital, he was evaluated and treated for some minor scrapes and scratches. Casey is healthy, smiling, and talking. He said he hung out with a bear for 2 days. God sent him a friend to keep him safe, Casey's Aunt Brianna Hathaway posted on Facebook on Thursday evening. Casey said he spent 2 days hanging out with a bear? A bear? For the record, bears hibernate in the cold months of winter, and as far as bears befriending a human, well, Chris Servine, a bear researcher at the University of Montana, had this to say. Wild bears aren't friends with people. I don't want
You idiots!
I don't want to say he's not telling the truth. He obviously thinks he's seen things, and maybe he's got a teddy bear at home, but I've seen no evidence anything like that has ever happened. I don't want to cast aspirations on the child, but I think the little boy had a fantasy. The bear wouldn't feel sorry for him thinking he's alone. That's ascribing human characteristics on wild animals, which is anthropomorphism. Sheriff Hughes, a North Carolina sheriff in charge of the search and rescue, knew time was running out. And he said Casey's survival is a miracle. The coldness, the wet, and just the terrain we were dealing with, this kid was looked after. Make no mistake about it, Hughes said. Also goes on to say, I don't know if it meant that he saw a bear. I don't know if that meant a bear embraced him or what it meant, adding, I thought it was a very cute story, and if that's what helped that child survive through this, you know what? I'm going to embrace that story that came from a 3-year-old, to his mom, to us.
He's like, also, we're off the hook, so...
I wanted to regale you with another story.
I have this book, The Locals.
This is a book called The Locals, written by Tom Powell, and it's a contemporary investigation of the Bigfoot Sasquatch phenomenon. Now, I'm going to tell you a story which might have some parallels of the one that I just told you that happened recently. This is a story that took place on July 8th through 12th, 1989. On Friday, 3-year-old Joseph Edwin Leffler disappeared from his mobile home on Squaw Creek Road, southeast of Estacada. He told his mother he was going fishing, play fishing, on Shallow Fall Creek, only 200 feet from the house. The boy was lightly dressed, wore sneakers, and had with him 2 adult male, part dingo, part Australian shepherd dogs, Dan and Jack, and a small white puppy. Harry Oakes, he's a tracking dog handler who represents the Mountain Wilderness Search Dogs, which is a volunteer nonprofit Oregon-based search and rescue unit, and his search group were called in to hunt for the lost boy. At about 6 p.m., Harry's dog Ranger, now remember, Harry is the search and rescue tracker, Harry's dog Ranger found tracks of the boy and his dogs a mile west of the boy's home, heading downstream through marshy ground on nearby Delph Creek. Harry and his partner thought somebody was playing a joke. Why? Well, because there was a series of barefoot, 4-toed footprints of the boy's tracks, and the boy's tracks disappeared. They could see where something described as huge had been walking through the brush. Harry measured one track where there was a good imprint, not sliding at 27 inches by 10 inches, with a 5-foot stride. The track was a half-inch deep in the very hard ground. Weighing 125 pounds, Harry said he stomped on the ground with his boots and couldn't make a dent. Ranger, his dog, sniffed and ignored the Bigfoot tracks, hunting for the boy's tracks instead, which had mysteriously disappeared near a roadway.
I've said it before.
Because he was carrying them.
Exactly.
Now, the 900...
When you look back and the Bigfoot tracks are the only ones there, that's when the Bigfoot was carrying you.
Yes, sir.
That's not God.
That's right. That's absolutely right.
Bigfoot's an angel helper.
He's forest angel guardian spirit. The 939th Air Force Reserve Aerospace Rescue and Recovery Group had 2 helicopters with infrared video cameras that were taping Harry's progress while crisscrossing the area in a search grid. Harry said, A report came in from somebody flying above. I won't say who. It gets too embarrassing. If you question the sheriff's office, they'll deny every bit of it. That their FLIR systems, which stands for Forward-Looking Infrared, was being used. And about that time, they noticed a huge object on the FLIR system, something they've never seen before. They wanted Harry to go check it out. Looking around the area, they did find tracks again, the same huge size that they had seen near the creek earlier. Questioning the FLIR operator later, Harry said that the operator told him, "I don't know. The thing was huge, upright, walking. No, that's physically impossible to be that big on the system. What do you think?" At about that time, little Joey walked up to Judy McGill, one of the Mountain Wilderness Search Team members.
Judy McGill.
Judy McGill. It might be McGill, but I like McGill. One of the Mountain Wilderness Search Team members just before noon on Sunday in a wooded area near the base camp. He stretched out his arms and I picked him up. Harry said, his first comments, beside that he was hungry, now this was to KATU Channel 2 News on tape before anybody could talk to him, was, "A big hairy monster came and got him and the 3 dogs and kept him safe, fed him berries, and showed him the boy where the creek was, showed me where the creek was. We slept in a mining cave, and when the helicopter came up, he, the monster, got scared and left, and he, Joey, took off too." Beyond that, Harry was not able to question the boy as he was immediately helicoptered off to the University Hospital in Portland, where he was checked and released about 7:30 p.m. that night.
What happened to the dogs?
They're probably back at the camp.
You say that like a father who's
I don't know,
hiding
Michael.
something from me.
They went to a farm, Michael.
They went to a farm. They were put down. There was no...
What about
no,
the
hold
puppy?
on, hold on. I'm going to get to the puppies. There was no sign of hypothermia, and Harry said the dogs were credited with saving Joey's life by sleeping at night with the boy and keeping him warm. In fact, Channel 2 News reported the boy's story and showed the video of his arrival in camp, but prefaced the tape segment with, "The boy told a story the only way he could," with eyes rolling, implying an unbelievably tall tale.
That was a cute hand on your hip.
Thank you. I thought it was a very cute story.
Always working.
And if that's what happened to the child, to help him survive through this, you know what? I'm going to embrace that story that came from a 3-year-old. Sound familiar, doesn't it? Well, throughout the centuries in Native American as well as modern accounts, there have been a myriad of strange reports that regaled the experiences where Bigfoot intervened in a lost child's plight and helped him to survive. In the story of little Casey Hathaway, a toddler who survived for 3 days, 2 nights, with nighttime temps in the teens and in pouring rain, it certainly makes one wonder, what kind of bear snuggles up with a kid? Well, I tell you what kind of bear. A Bigfoot bear. You know what? Maybe our guest Kat can help us out by answering one of our most often undeniable questions.
I was thinking of a glittery, cozy big bear, different kind of bear.
So, Kat, I ask you,
Oh, goodness.
what the hell was that? What do you make of this story? Do you think that kid just survived on his own, made up this story about a bear?
I mean, sure, I could believe that there's a little Sasquatch helping out young boys. It just
Okay.
seems like there's this big hairy man that hung out with 3-year-old boys, kept them warm and cozy.
I think you're thinking of a different kind of bear.
I know, that's why I was giggling.
Yeah, no, but there's something. I remember reading that story, and as a well of a lot of
Yeah,
other,
we talked about this a few
Yeah, we made a brief mention.
episodes back on the
Yeah.
L Files. We made a mention of this.
Yeah, and you know, I wasn't the only Bigfoot enthusiast to kind of look more into the details of this story. For one, I mean, the temperatures at night had gone into the teens, almost freezing, and
I mean, it's insane that kid survived.
Yeah.
yeah,
And awesome.
yeah, without a doubt,
Miracle.
and that's why I brought in the story. It is thankfully it has a happy ending.
I wonder if
you know.
my first instinct to this is whether or not the kid was hallucinating because of food and weather conditions, and that I'm interested. I want an interview with the kid, not to put him in the hot seat, but just to get more information. What did the bear look like? Can they show him drawings or of Bigfoot? Because I wonder, in my mind, for some reason, I tend to go to this kid encountering like almost like a cartoon or storybook bear that's like anthropomorphized, and it makes me wonder if A, he was hallucinating, or if B, what if there was some sort of interdimensional or spiritual, like an angel or some type of interdimensional entity that did help him and manifested itself as like a big friendly bear, like a Berenstein bear kind of thing, maybe. Or it's a Bigfoot. Yeah. Or the kid's hallucinating. I don't know. He didn't have.
There were footprints, right?
No, that was on the other story from 1989. No, there were no footprints found on this one, but.
Also, he was only a half a mile away.
Yeah, what's interesting was that he was found literally about, a quarter mile from his house, which obviously means that the search and rescue team, along with the hundreds, I've read somewhere there's around 600 volunteers, must have covered that ground extensively. Now, when they asked the sheriff about it, he was just kind of like, well, the boy must have been mobile and he was moving just ahead of our trackers and stuff like that, which doesn't make any sense at all.
He was like wrapped up in the vines or whatever, right?
Yeah, and so some people have posited that perhaps, when whatever made this crying sound to this walker, whether it was the kid or something else, had put this boy in the vine so that it would stay there and to be recovered.
Yeah, I just thought about that too. It's like, well, if you're going to drop a kid off and want him, like I'm a Bigfoot and you're going to drop a kid off, Put him in the sticker bushes so he can't get out. So he stays put. Fake cry.
Yeah. And what also is interesting about this is there's an author and researcher. His name is David Paulides. He's an ex police detective, and he's written a few books on Bigfoot and also a series of books called Missing 411 about the mass numbers of people that go missing in national parks under strange circumstances. And one of the sort of parallels of the strange circumstances to a lot of his stories are that these people who do end up being found they're usually found right near the place where they went missing. So, you know what I mean? They'll be gone for like a day or two, or, and the dogs will track their prints sometimes miles away and then just lose the track, only to find the boy or the girl back where they originally started, sort of unhurt, phased, sort of like not really sure what was happening. Yeah. But and it just reminded me when I read this story, I was like, this is so strange.
Do we know if the boy knew he was gone for that long, or did the boy...
Well, I don't know anything.
Did the boy have missing time?
I don't know anything about that. I mean, when asked about that, the sheriff asked, well, like, are we going to hear more on this boy describe, what happened? And, the detective, the sheriff said, well, obviously he'll undergo psychological evaluation, but that won't be able to happen for at least a few weeks after. And even once that does, that won't be privy to...
Well, we need these kids, and that kid from 89 is now old enough, if he remembers that, we should find that guy.
Yeah, but it also...
Find out his story.
I mean, we never shy away from too many... kind of like I liked your high sort of what you were talking about, his hallucination, or it also even makes me wonder if this kid has ever even heard of Bigfoots, or if you were to compare a picture of Bigfoot to a bear, what he might say.
Right. He might. It's
that.
most closely associated with the bear.
But even if he was hallucinating, he would have died from exposure.
Well, that's the thing.
That's the crazy part.
I'm just trying to figure out. Yeah, it doesn't.
But there's the dogs. There's the three
dogs.
No,
that's in the second.
That was the
oh my god, I'm so good at
no,
stories.
that's
1989.
It was two stories.
It's two stories.
Yeah,
it's
it's
all
a little confusing, but no. In that first one, the dog tracks went missing too, and apparently that the story I told you that took place in 1989 about little Jeffrey. The boy said that that big hairy monster took him to a cave, dogs and all, to withstand the storm. So it's interesting. I mean, there's just there's a lot of mysterious circumstances surrounding this case, and you can either chalk it up to the boy's either a couple of three things. One, it's the boy's imagination. Two, there really was a bear who was not hibernating at the time, who kept him warm by cuddling up, which seems most illogical. Or three.
I mean, there's a lot of cute animal videos out there of bears being cute, or
True.
animals that you think wouldn't get along getting along.
Or three, it
That's my
was
scientific take.
it was a
Science with Michael.
it was a Bigfoot who shapeshift into a bear-looking like creature, and
Or it's a Bigfoot, or it's a
Bigfoot,
shapeshifter,
or
or
it's
it's
a
a.
shapeshifter.
I don't
But y'all
know.
think that Bigfoot's friendly? Unless
yes,
provoked?
on this story he is.
But in general.
Bryce would like to think so.
I would like to think so, but I mean, there's accounts on both sides. I mean, most First Nations tribes in Native American lore, they're kind of split on the camp. But if you had to weigh in, 70% would be like,
I
hey,
think he's like, if you don't bother me, I'm not going to bother you.
pretty much. But they tell stories, and stories are passed down that don't go into the woods alone. Bigfoot takes children. So I mean, it's passed down through mythological tales on that side.
We go back to Bigfoot,
Man.
the big hairy
But
man.
I always like to
little
believe
kids.
Yeah.
I always like to believe him as sort of a guardian of the natural edifices on this planet. Sort of a. But who knows? While the family admits they're not sure how accurate Casey's version of events are, it's not the first time such a tale has made headlines. In 1888, the New York Times reported the
We're
disappearance.
back
of
in
two-
High Strangeness.
Wait, hold on. Let me
Oh, no,
grab my
no.
pad real
No,
quick.
no.
Oh yeah, no. I was just gonna end on a couple.
Yeah. This is cool. Go.
In 1888, the New York Times reported the disappearance of a 2-year-old girl who was found in a deep valley where she claimed she had slept by a bear that kept her warm at night. In 1955, 2-year-old Ida Mae Curtis went missing in Kootenai National Forest in Montana. She was located after enduring 2 days of pouring rain and explained that she had been cuddled and comforted by a bear during her time away.
I think there's magic bears.
Yeah, so I mean that's why I'm like, well, that's interesting. There's it's like there's more stories of these people being comforted by bears, which Chris Stevens said is bears don't befriend people.
That
But
guy's,
maybe they befriend little,
recently went through a
little kids
breakup.
thinking
Clearly,
that they're their cubs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is that theory that if bears don't feel threatened, they but I don't know.
strange stuff.
It's strange stuff.
Another high strangeness for the books. Thank you, Bryce.
You're welcome.
I know you have to leave. We're gonna say goodbye to Kat as well. Thank you so much, Kat,
Thanks for
coming
having
on
me.
the
What a
show.
wonderful guest.
What a joy you are.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Where can people follow you on social media? Is there anything coming up you'd like to plug?
Oh, yeah. I guess on the social medias, I think I'm Kat M, as in Marie Burns. I mostly use Instagram. My Twitter is basically just my Instagram.
Yeah.
I should probably think of things to say. And then y'all check out the Yes, That's Really Us singing on the CW after the season finale, like Michael pitched. You said April 4th?
It's April 4th, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, we're really excited to see that come to an
Yeah,
end in a
that was
beautiful, musically sung and danced kind of
Awesome.
way.
Officially done with Crazy X.
I know. Well, we're going to Radio City. So
Well, that's
see y'all
true.
in Radio City, maybe.
Yeah.
New York City.
New York City.
New
But
York.
we're not filming any more episodes.
No.
I know.
That's a
So,
wrap.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And we'll see you soon. And we'll be right back. Well, that was a delightful visit from KATHRYN Burns.
It really was.
Hashtag Kat Burns. God, I've never seen someone fall apart during Bigfoot or bullshit or believe it like that.
She
And
actually
it
got
was
tears in my eyes just watching. That was amazing.
pretty great. Bryce had to take off to go try to book a job. So it's just us for the little tiny wrap-up Collector's Corner. Anything you're reading, watching that you're into right now?
And I've been so busy in record land.
What are you doing in Recordland?
Well, we're making Grace's album right now
Oh, cool.
in the
Grace
studio.
Mitchell, past guest.
Yes. We're also making the Spindrift record right now.
Sweet, dude.
Both of them are coming out this year, so it's just like full board, just doing that every day.
Yeah.
So that's kind of taken over. And then we got playing a cool festival this week out in Joshua Tree. It's called
This is last week in March. So when's the show?
the last weekend in March.
Okay, so March 29th. I
Yes,
think,
sir.
28th.
March,
Whatever that Saturday is,
Well, no,
right?
we're actually playing Friday in Joshua Tree, and then Saturday we're playing in LA with this band that I really like called Black Mountain.
Okay, that's the 30th. So
at a-
Friday the 29th.
Yeah, so we're playing Friday the 29th in Joshua Tree and Saturday the 30th in LA, and really looking forward to those. So I haven't been doing anything other than music and podcasts
Yeah,
lately. That's
yeah.
like my life.
Yeah, I've been dancing and podcasting.
Well, yeah, tell me about this.
The special comes out on April 4th. It's really fun. I'm doing a lot of like Fosse, some jazz dancing, singing. We're singing like a medley of hits from the past 4 seasons of Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. It was down at the Orpheum Theater Friday and Saturday night this past weekend.
Dude, epic.
And then they'll cut it together, the best of the 2 nights, and it'll be wrapped up in one special. But it was great. We had like the lighting guy does the Emmys. One of the producers does a Super Bowl halftime shows. It looked fantastic. Like, I'm really, really excited about it. And I think it'll be one of those things, if you're a fan of the show, you'll be able to like, once it's out on Netflix, it's technically the final episode, even though the final episode is episode 17. Of this season, it's one of those things you could just like throw on and have on while you're at home, and it's really, really fun. It's kind of like having like the live album, show
cool.
of it, and it gives you a taste of what we do in the live shows when we go on tour and stuff. But the production value is much bigger, so it's just really, we're just all beat. Like we're doing 12-hour rehearsal days for 6 days a week.
Yeah, back in the theater.
Yeah,
awesome.
Back doing the theater thing.
You reading anything cool? Watching
I'm still in John Keel land. I've been reading Strange Creatures from Outer Space. I've got a stack of comic books that I'm trying to get at. I'm happy because I finally tracked down the 3rd issue of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, The Tempest.
Cool.
Which is like the final series in the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, which is a series that I've loved since the first inception. It's gotten, it got weird. It's still weird.
Yeah.
It's pretty much for hardcore fans now. There's a lot, like Alan Moore went from like, I'm going to have like Victorian, this cool team of Victorian superheroes to like getting really into the 20th century and real obscure fiction and science fiction, and then just like lots of like sex. Like he's really into, there's like a phase where they're just like, all they're doing is having sex. It's like, okay, this is just straight up like highbrow porn now. It's really
erotic.
Weird.
Yeah.
I recently reread the whole series to kind of prepare myself for this final one, and it is like, I don't know if it's good. I don't know if the later stuff in this is good, but I love Kevin O'Neill's artwork, and I love those characters, and I'm committed through the end. So I'm excited about reading that. Have time to sit down and read that, the 3rd and 4th issue, I guess. But yeah, I'm in my Twin Peaks. I just watched I started to fall asleep. I was so tired last night on the final episode of the original series. I'm going to go back. We're dealing with the Black Lodge. Dude, I've been burning through it. I mean,
that last episode is just a masterpiece.
I've got to.
So good.
I started to drift off and I was like, nope, gotta come back to this. So I'm going to rewind and watch. I'm fucking loving that. I'm loving the Black Lodge stuff. I mean, I was texting Bryce last week being like, dude, you have to watch this show.
He really does.
Everything that we talk about on this show is in there. Project Blue Book, alien abductions, interdimensional entities. I'm excited too, because not knowing where it goes, but like there's all these hints of like the dwarf being like, you'll see us again in 25 years.
Yeah.
And then the show came back in 25 years.
So cool.
I'm excited. I got to watch Fire Walk with Me, and then I'm excited to see how the Showtime series, which I hear is crazy, how it picks up from how it continues the story.
Yeah, I haven't seen the new one yet, actually. I've been kind of saving it. I'm trying to get Grace all the way through the old one before we watch it together.
Man, I love it. I'm like, this is the show that I didn't realize was missing from my life, but it's like,
awesome.
I was like, I understand how I missed it, but like, and I know that it's always been on people's radar. It's been on my radar. But I'm like, oh, this fills a big gap in my personality. Like I at any point in my life, had I seen this, I would have loved it. And it just makes so much. I'm like, yeah, of course. It might be like, it might be my favorite show now, just because I'm like, fuck, of course. Like, I should have been watching Twin Peaks. This is like so my personality.
I love how into it you are, because I really love that show.
Oh man,
and David Lynch in general.
I am in love with it. I love Dale Cooper. I love the whole thing. It is so good. So yeah, I'm still in the middle of that, and then I'm hoping to like catch up on some of the reading that I've been needing to do for the show. I've just been so busy and so tired that like I'll read 3 pages and pass out.
I hear you.
Yeah, and then so plug wise, final episode of Crazy X, April 4th. Adventure Van is now available, trade paperback. I will be signing at WonderCon in Anaheim on Saturday, March 30th, between 1 and 2 p.m. Come there. And then, of course, we have coming up in June 1st, our first live show at Contact in the Desert. We will have more information for you guys as that goes along. Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I think we can say goodnight till next week.
Yeah. Good night,
Sounds
good morning, good afternoon.
We really need I need to figure out a good like exit line for this show. And we're a year and a half in, I should have a good like sign out other than kisses over on the Patreon, which is just become an inside joke at this point.
Yeah, but the problem is with the paranormals is like there's so many cliches. You know, we could be like, keep your eyes on the skies or something, but it's like, I mean, we can do better.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
We'll get there.
But yeah, if you want more of the show, please do check out our Patreon feed, The Other Side. You'll get all that information in a moment. But thank you guys.
Thank you guys for listening. Bye-bye.
Look at the woods and see if you'll find a monster.
Perfect.
Nailed it.
Bigfoot Collectors Club is produced by Riley Bray. Our theme song is Come Alone by Suneaters, courtesy of Lotuspool Records. If you like the show, please rate and review us on iTunes. It really helps get the podcast to more listeners. To support the show, check out our Patreon page at patreon.com/Bigfoot Collectors Club and unlock multiple reward episodes every month.